Topic for today is suprarenal gland disorders. What is suprarenal gland? Adrenal gland, or it is also known as suprarenal gland because it is above the kidneys. So, do you know anyone knows about the normal structure of the adrenal gland? Normal structure. Please switch off the phones or keep them silent and in the pockets. Yeah. What is the normal structure of the adrenal gland? Cortex and medulla. Okay, fine. What? Three layers. What are the three layers? This is GFR. GFR. Like glomerular filtration rate. Glomerulosa, fasciculator, and radicularis. And what are the hormones which are produced by the adrenal? It is not a, it is a very important gland in the body. What are the hormones produced by the various glands? So, zona fasciculata. Zona radicularis produces what? The innermost layer. Glucocorticoids and sex steroids. Okay? And outermost layer, zona glomerulosa, forms mineralocorticoids mostly. And adrenal medulla is responsible for the formation of sympathetic hormones. Okay? Epinephrine. Now, we will discuss the pathology of adrenocortical hyperfunction, hypofunction and adrenomedullary lesions. So, one of the pathology is hyperplasia. The second one is adenoma. Third one is carcinoma. Very good. Hyperplasia, adenoma and carcinoma. These are the three things. And these will lead to formation of more and more hormones also. We will see what is adrenocortical hyperplasia. Adrenocortical hyperplasia. Here, the adrenal cortex will be yellow, it will be thickened and it will be multinodular. Multinodular means multiple, one nodule, two nodule, 3, 4, 5, 6, like this. So there will be multiple nodules. This is the difference between the adenoma and hyperplasia. Hyperplasia has multiple nodules. Adenoma is solitary, single. Okay? So, if as a pathologist, adrenal gland comes to you, you cut it. And you see multiple nodules, no signs of hemorrhage, necrosis. So you will say, most probably it is hyperplasia. But if it is a solitary one, single, so most probably it is a adenoma. Clear? So, it is yellow, it is thickened, it is multinodular. And this is due to hypertrophy and hyperplasia of the, mostly the hypertrophy and hyperplasia occur because of two zones, fasciculata and radicularis, mostly. So this is the appearance in cases of adrenocortical hyperplasia. So this is adenoma. Look, this is a single one. Single one with a capsule around it. That was multinodular, different nodules. So here, this is how you will distinguish between the two. It is circumscribed, surrounded by a capsule. And the functional status cannot be predicted from the gross appearance or the microscopic appearance. You cannot say which hormone this adenoma will secrete. You cannot say. This is only to be measured through the blood. When you measure the blood hormones, you will only say, okay, this adenoma is secreting glucocorticoids, or this adenoma is secreting mineralocorticoids, or this adenoma is secreting sex steroids. But only by measuring the blood level of the hormone. It is not through the, by seeing it. But that can be predicted in case of mixed reality. You can see azophilic, acidophilic. There you can see, but here you cannot see. So this is the adrenocortical adenoma. Look at this. This is the normal. This is the normal appearance of the gland. And look here. This is the adenoma. So it is at the. There may be some cellular pleomorphism may be there because it is a adenoma. So some cells are small, some are big. Some cellular pleomorphism, but there will be no mitosis. No mitosis will be there. Okay? And cells are vacuolated because of the presence of lipids. As you know, adrenal gland will contain the lipid vacuoles. So same, in the normal gland also you have lipids, these vacuoles, and here also you have vacuoles. These are the nuclei, and these are lipid vacuoles. So it is resembling the normal. It is resembling. What is the difference then? There are more cells. Look here, less cells. Here cells. But here, if this is the capsule of the adenoma and this whole is adenoma, there are more cells here. Some pleomorphism, some difference in the size and shape of the cells. But how do you differentiate from the malignancy? There is no mitosis. There is no mitosis. So no mitosis is seen here. This is carcinoma. Know the difference. Look, again, this is a well differentiated carcinoma. So these cells will resemble the cortical adenoma, but look the difference. There is some difference, isn't it? The cells here are separate, more lipid vacuoles, but here cells are close, more or less lipid vacuoles, and there is more pleomorphism. Can you see? More pleomorphism is there, more dark nuclei are there, and you can find even this slide doesn't contain the mitosis, but mitosis can be there.
So still here is again
They are more crowded. The nuclei are more crowded. There is less lipid vacuoles, more pleomorphism, mitosis may be here. But this is a well differentiated. So it will resemble the adenoma also.
the previous one is cut.
Yeah. You can see these are far apart. Nuclei are far apart, more lipid vacuoles are there. But here there is crowding. Crowding is a feature of malignancy. Crowding, loss of polarity, these are the features of malignancy. So there is crowding, there is more pleomorphism, more variation in size and shape, and you can find mitosis. But this is a well differentiated. So well differentiated, less chances of finding the mitosis. Okay? But as is it is moderately or poorly different, more mitosis, more pleomorphism will be there. Got it? So three things are there in the adrenal cortex. This we are talking about a cortex. One is hyperplasia, which is multinodular. Second is adenoma, which is solitary, single. And third is adenocarcinoma. And the thing about this is adenocortical carcinoma that there are areas of necrosis, hemorrhage and cystic change. Can you see this? Can you say this is adenoma? No. Because it has multiple size. You know, this is a nodular, but there are necrosis, hemorrhage, cystic changes. So in between you can find blackened areas, this. Here you can find, so some necrosed areas like this, whitish, this is necrosis, okay? And some, these hemorrhagic areas. So necrosis is there, hemorrhage is there, and you will find a cystic changes also. These are the features of malignancy. And there is no definite capsule. Can you find the capsule? No. It is growing haphazardly. Like this, growing here, growing here. You cannot find any capsule covering it as such. So these are the features of malignancy. You can see it grossly as well as microscope. Clear? Three things: hyperplasia, adenoma, and carcinoma. So this was about the cortex. Sometimes two things are there: acute adrenal insufficiency and chronic adrenal insufficiency. What does this mean? What does this mean? Suddenly, insufficiency means there will be loss of the hormones from the adrenal gland. What are the reasons? It can happen acutely, in a short period of time, or chronically, long period of time. Okay. Acutely, why it will happen? There is one of the causes: acute adrenal insufficiency. This is known as Waterhouse-Friderichsen syndrome. What will happen here? There is a infection by Neisseria meningitidis. Okay, and it will. This is known as meningococcemia. Neisseria meningitidis will cause meningococcemia. This is a sort of septicemia where the bacteria will spread through the body and they will attack the adrenal gland. Okay. Once they go to the adrenal glands will become black, red, and there will be extensive hemorrhage. And what will happen? Look, the glands normally should be yellow colored because of the intracytoplasmic lipid. Okay. Here they become red, black, red, and only this portion. This is yellow. What is this? Normal. Very good. So this is the part which has been spared. The rest of the gland is black, necrotic, hemorrhagic. Okay. So only this part here, small part here. So these are spared. These are the normal part. So normal part is yellow color. Okay. Yellow color because of the intracytoplasmic lipid. So this is one of the cases, and Here you will find hemorrhage and inflammation all. Little residual cortical architecture with extensive hemorrhage. So this is the microscopic appearance. Only hemorrhage will be there along with inflammation. And there will be destruction of the glands. You won't be able to find much of the, the adrenocortical cells. Is it clear? So I am going fast because I have to go to the dental college. I got the message late from your leader, but still I took it because I have to go there also. So although the slides are less, as you know, pathology lab is less, but the pathology lab is going to be constructed. So you will be there seeing the gross and the microscope under the, then you will spend at least 2 hours there. So you will be trained. It takes more time. The lab takes more time so that we can enjoy here. So this is acute adrenal insufficiency. Acutely, there will be loss of the hormone secretion from the adrenal gland. Second is chronic adrenal insufficiency. Before the treatment of tuberculosis, when the tuberculosis was rampant throughout the world, the most common cause was tuberculosis for the chronic adrenal insufficiency. Chronic means chronically there is loss of hormones from the, but it takes time. Okay. The most common cause previously was what? Tuberculosis. Now it is idiopathic. Idiopathic autoimmune disease. Okay. So previously it was tuberculosis. Now it is idiopathic or autoimmune. It is also known as Addison's disease.
The most common is autoimmune.
Who said? Yeah. No. I am saying previously. Previously it was tuberculosis. Now it is autoimmune. Okay. Previously it was tuberculosis. Got it? Previously. Before. Kamal. This is Badin. Present. So Chiastic granuloma of the tuberculosis. So this is one of the Chiastic. What is the appearance here?
Cheese-like.
Cheese-like. You people like the cheese because I find cheese everywhere. Even though I like the cheese. Inside, what you find. Many things are here which are filled with cheese. So
Yes.
that is good. Different type, cottage cheese, others. So that is good. And I will put on weight also because of this cheese. So now the cause is autoimmune or autoimmune Addison disease, which is idiopathic. We call it autoimmune also, we call it idiopathic also. So calling it idiopathic means there is no cause, but presumably it may be autoimmune. Okay, maybe. So this is the cause, and what you will find in this is the adrenal gland. Okay, small cells like this is lower view. So Congo red stain, deposits of amyloid. So in the autoimmune disease, you will find Congo red stain. Okay. So these are the deposits of amyloid, which will stain with Congo red stain. Okay. So on this amyloid deposit will be seen because of the autoimmunity. So this is, it will collect, and not only it will affect the adrenal gland, but also the other organs of the body. Because this is the autoimmune. Autoimmune disease most of the time will affect multiple organs of the body. This is one of the causes. This is chronic adrenal insufficiency. So we finished. Acute adrenal insufficiency and chronic adrenal. Okay. Chronic adrenal, most common cause is autoimmune or idiopathic. Previously it was tuberculosis. And acute adrenal, one of the causes is this Waterhouse-Friderichsen syndrome. And no, cortex finished. We'll come to the medical. We'll see. What is this? Large adrenal neoplasm has been sectioned in half. So this is one half, which you are seeing. Okay. Note the grey tag. The appearance here is not yellow. In adrenal cortical, mostly yellow. Hyperplasia and adenoma. Here it is grey tag. Grey tag color of the tumor compared to the yellow cortex. No. Where you find the yellow cortex? Here. This portion. Here. Okay. This is the normal portion. But this whole is tumor. Here you can find a strip only here, small strip of the yellow cortex. This is the normal part, and a small remnant of the remaining adrenal at the lower level. This is small adrenal, and this is the tumor. So it has arisen from the medulla of this adrenal gland. What you will find if you section it? There are large polygonal cells that are pink and arranged in S. So polygonal cells. Here, nest. Nest, you know, birds. Huh? So these are polygonal cells which are arranged in nests. In between there are capillaries. He is saying whether it is benign or malignant. This, you know, this is a PG level pathology, post-graduate level. This you will define on the basis of many, on the basis of necrosis, on the basis of number of mitosis, like this. As there is more mitosis, more pleomorphism, you can say it is malignant. You can say. But if it is not so, you can say it is a yeah, on the basis of the mitosis. How much mitosis is there per high power field? This is the basis of how you define it. So the classifications will go on changing. Go on changing. Then you have to calculate high power field how much. Mostly we take 10 per 10 high power field. Mostly. But I am not sure about pheochromocytoma. I will let you know. Okay? But it is determined on the basis of the pleomorphism and the mitosis. Most of them, when you have to separate the leiomyoma or leiomyosarcoma, you use these criteria. Because there are some tumors which go in between these. Borderline tumors. Okay? So you have to differentiate between a benign, borderline and a malignant one. Okay? This is on the basis of pleomorphism, mitosis and necrosis. Sorry, you don't have, here there is a see. You don't want to see? So this is pheochromocytoma. What will happen because of this? Very good. And what will happen? How the patient will present? Very, very high blood pressure. Paroxysms of high blood pressure. I have seen a student with me. She was a student. Suddenly she used to have breathing attacks. And when we measured her blood pressure, it was about suddenly, yeah. Then she was diagnosed. But she was severe hypertension. Epinephrines, what they will call it? They will elevate to that. So this is pheochromocytoma, and this is the last one, neuroblastoma. Neuroblastoma. It means neural tissue like embryonal tissue. What is the appearance here? This is a large, lobulated, hemorrhagic, so see, full of hemorrhage. Cystic tumor adherent to the, this is kidney, this one. This is the kidney and this is the tumor arising from the upper pole, big tumor. Huh? So you might have read many news in your newspapers, a large tumor from the abdomen has it can be ovarian, it can be like this, neuroblastoma. So many tumors are very big but they are benign also. Many tumors are, they can grow, like ovarian cysts, they can be very, very big. Even 20 kg, but they are benign. Huh? So this was removed, mostly this presents in the childhood. It was removed from a child who was presenting with abdominal mass. And what you will find, these are the primitive neural structures, primitive, embryonal type. Okay? Because there are adult tissues, there are primitive embryonal tissues. So this is the resemblance of the primitive embryonal tissue. What is happening here? There are rosettes. Rosettes means collection of cells here, and in the center there is something. Rosettes. Okay? Collection of cells, in the center there is something. So rounded collection of cells, in the center there is fibrillar material, characteristic rosettes formed by small, regular, dark tumor cells. These are very dark, arranged around a central, pale, fibrillar pole, this one. So there are rosettes composed of dark cells. In the center of these rosettes, there is pink fibrillar material. So this is the appearance of the neuroblastoma. Okay? So these two tumors arising from the medulla, rest of the they arise from the cortex. If you have any questions, you can ask.
The Addison's disease.
Yeah.
Is it autoimmune, chronic adrenal insufficiency?
Yes, this is chronic adrenal insufficiency.
But caused by autoimmune.
Autoimmune, yeah. Most common cause. Most common. There can be other causes also, but most common is autoimmune. There can be tuberculosis or other causes, but most common is autoimmune.